So previous days, Sayadaw explained that if one is not mindful of the Nama Rupa phenomena at the moment of arising, then there can be personality view, having wrong views. So this Sakkaya Ditthi, personality view, can be overcome through Vipassana practice momentarily. In order to eradicate Sakkaya Ditthi, personality view, one should become a Sotapanna in order to eradicate Sakkaya Ditthi completely. So, if one does not know this Nama Rupa phenomena relating as cause and effect, there can be many kinds of wrong view. So if the person does not have Yatha Bhuta Jnana, knowing, having knowledge correctly as the things are, then there will be this wrong view of Atta. So not having this Yatha Bhuta Jnana, the person can have this wrong view of Atta as there is Atta existing now. So in the past as well there will be Atta, and in the future also there will be Atta. So in this way there will be wrong view, and there will be uncertainty, doubt, not sure, not able to decide what is right. So in this way there will be wrong view, and there will be wrong decision that this is right. So if one does not know, if one does not understand cause, if one does not have understanding that relative cause gives rise to relative effect, then there can be Visamma Hetuka Ditthi, fictitious view, fictitious cause view. So it is also one of the wrong view, believing that unrelative cause giving effect. So there will be Visamma Hetuka Ditthi, fictitious cause view. And in order to eradicate this fictitious cause view, one should become a Sotapanna in order to eradicate it totally. So today Sayadaw will explain how life continues, and Sayadaw will explain on words such as Sansara, Vata, Dukkha and Moksha. So in the word Sansara, Vata, Dukkha, there is the word Sansara. Samsara is the continuous arising of the Nama Rupa phenomena, just like a current. They are seeing this Nama Rupa phenomena are arising, such as seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, knowing, bending, stretching, opening, closing of the eye, blinking, and so on. So in this way, this Rupa and Nama Rupa, mind and matter, are related to each other, and they are arising as cause and effect continuously, just like a current. So samsara means the occurrence or the arising of the Nama Rupa phenomena continuously, just like a current. So there is also the word vata. Vata means the arising, the process of arising of the Nama Rupa continuously without any break, like rotating. So vata means rotating continuously of the Nama Rupa phenomena just like a fan. So arising continuously in like a rotation, it is all suffering. That's why it is called dukkha. So the freedom from this samsara vata dukkha is called moksha. So in other way, the way or the practice in order to be free from this samsara vata dukkha is called moksha. Before Sayadaw goes on to explain it, let's think about a tree, the process of a tree which gives fruit. So in the tree, there is moist or the sap pervading the whole tree from the root until the branches and so on. So everyone accepts the fact that there is sap or the moist of the tree permeating the whole tree. So the plant is living because there is sap or the moist. So based on the sap, the tree grows, and then the tree gives fruit, and from the fruit there will be the seed, and in the seed there is this potency to give new generation of trees. So in the seed there is potency or potential so that new generation of trees will grow. So what is supporting the sap or moist in the tree? It is soil. Soil also supports the sap. And then water, and especially nowadays, fertilizer also supports so that sap will be produced in the tree. And from the air, the tree can get oxygen, and from the sunshine, the tree also gets oxygen where the sap is supported. So in this way, getting nutrients from the soil, water, air, and the sunshine, then the tree has this sap pervading the whole tree. So if the tree does not get any nutriment from water, soil, air, or sunshine, then the tree will become withered, dry, and eventually die. So in this way, the cause for the sap is the water, soil, air, and the sunshine. When people plant the seed, then give water, so combining the nutriment from the soil and the water, the seed gives a sprout. A sprout will come out from the seed. And when the sprout comes out, it is obvious that there is sap or the moist in the sprout. And the sprout will grow bigger and bigger. It will become a plant, a tree. So in the plant or tree also, there is the sap. And then this plant will blossom, give flower and fruit. And the fruit also has the seed. And the seed also has the potency or the potential to give rise to a new generation of plants. So in this way, there will be a rotation from the seed to sprout, from the sprout to tree, from the tree to fruit, fruit to seed, and then again to another tree. So in this way, there will be new and new generations of plants. So to sum up what has been explained, there are only three things. The first one is the sap or the moist that is pervading the whole plant or tree. And the second one is the seed. And the third one is the new generation. So in this way, there are three main things: the sap, the seed, and the new generation of plant. So this is how there is rotation of the rupa. It is called sansara vata. How there is round of existence of the materiality, like a rotation. In this case, it is the round of existence of the generation of trees.
သက်ရှိတ attva တွေပဲဘုန်းကြီးတို့လှည့်ပြီးတော့ဆက်ဆက်ပြီးတော့စဉ်းစားကြည့်ကြစို့
So let us now look at the round of existence of living beings. Just as there are round of existence of inanimate, there is also round of existence in animate beings. There are three kinds of vata, or three kinds of existence, round of existence. So according to the text, there are three kinds of rounds. The first one is kilesa vata, round of kilesa, defilements. The second one is kama vata, rounds of deed or action. And the third one is vipaka vata, round of resultant. So in this way, these rounds are rotating just like a circle. So what is rotating is the nama rupa phenomena are arising just like a current. So these rounds are rotating in the nama rupa phenomena, which are arising like a current, and also in the current flow of the seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, knowing, and so on. So in the kilesa vata, round of defilements, so this kilesa vata, round of defilements, does not consist of all these defilements, but there are only three main defilements defined by the Buddha as kilesa vata, round of defilements. So these three are: the first one is avijja, ignorance, or in other words, it is kind of delusion. And the second one is tanha, craving, and the third one is upadana, clinging. So avijja, ignorance, means not knowing the truth or knowing wrongly, being very dim or uncertain about the truth. It is called avijja. Thinking or taking the right thing as wrong, knowing wrongly, is also called avijja, ignorance. And tanha is like hunger or craving. So this craving is called tanha. And upadana is clinging. So tanha is the weak form of greed. And when the greed becomes greater and greater in degree, when it becomes stronger, then it is called upadana, clinging. So believing as being, person, it is wrong belief, so it is also one of the wrong view. So in this way, ignorance, craving and clinging are in the kilesavada round of defilements. So Buddha taught the Four Noble Truths. The truth of suffering, dukkha satya. The truth of origin of suffering, samudaya satya. Dukkha nirodha satya. The extinction or the cessation of the suffering. And the fourth one is dukkha nirodha gamini patipada ariya satya, which means the truth of the path leading to the cessation. So, not knowing the Four Noble Truth, not knowing the suffering as suffering, it is called avijja, this ordinary kind of avijja. Not knowing the suffering as suffering, it is called apatipatti avijja. So knowing the opposite, understanding the opposite, understanding the suffering as good, happy, so it is the knowing just the opposite, it is called micca patipatti avijja. So, to explain it, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, they are all suffering. So Buddha taught that seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching are all suffering. Not knowing that seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching are suffering, it is called apatipatti avijja. And the other type is, even though Buddha taught that seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching are suffering, but there are those who take it just the opposite, believing that seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching are good and happy. So having this view, just the opposite of the truth, it is called micca patipatti avijja. And the second truth is that tanha, craving, is the origin of suffering. Not knowing that this tanha, craving, is the origin of suffering is called apatipatti avijja. And the second one is, even though the craving is the origin of suffering, the wrong view that this craving is good and happy, it is happy, good to have the craving, it is called micca patipatti avijja. And the third one, the cessation of all the suffering, the extinction of all suffering is good. It will be peaceful if there is no further assistance, no further new assistance. So it is taught by the Buddha that it is peaceful when all the lives come to a cessation. So not knowing that it is peaceful to come to a cessation, it is called apatipatti avijja. And the other kind of avijja is that the cessation or the extinction of suffering is a big depth. There is no hearing, seeing, so there is nothing good in the cessation or extinction. So believing that way, it is micca patipatti avijja. And the fourth one is the training such as sila, samadhi, panya, morality training, concentration training, and panya training are the path to lead to nibbana. So these three trainings, sila, samadhi, panya, are sure way, sure path in order to attain Nibbana. So not knowing that the training Sila Samadhi Panya can lead to Nibbana, not believing that they are the path leading to Nibbana, it is called apatipatti avijja. And the other kind is that practicing Sila Samadhi Panya is practicing the path to a big depth where there is no good thing to be seen. In the Nibbana there is nothing good to be seen, so practicing Sila Samadhi Panya in order to gain that state is no good, it is suffering. So taking that way, it is Micca Patipatti Avijja. So there are 4 noble truths. In each of the noble truths, there can be 2 kinds of ignorances. The first one is apatipatti avijja, not knowing the truth, ignorance, not knowing the truth. And the second one is micca patipatti avijja, knowing wrongly or knowing just the opposite of the truth. So in this way, in each of the 4 noble truths, there are 2 kinds of ignorances. So altogether, in 4 noble truths, there are 8 kinds of ignorance. So seeing, hearing, smelling, so on, they are dukkha, suffering. Not being mindful at the moment of seeing, hearing, smelling, and so on, by practicing satipatthana. If one is not mindful at the moment of seeing, hearing, smelling, and so on, the person think of it as good. So not being mindful, the person thinks it is good to see, it is good to hear, it is good to smell, and so on. So in this way, the person take seeing, hearing, smelling, so on, as good and happy. So in this way, there is avijja, ignorance. So if one is not mindful at the moment of seeing, hearing, and so on, there will be avijja, ignorance. So when there is avijja, ignorance, one will take seeing, hearing as good, so there will be tasna, craving. So having tasna, craving, one think of the seeing, hearing as good. And one will yearn for, one will crave for good things to be seen, good things to be heard. It is also tasna, craving. So based on the tasna, craving, some people, they do good actions in order to have good things as result. And people who have bad intention, because they want to enjoy good things, they commit bad things such as killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, slandering, cursing, doing bad things, saying senseless talks, taking other people's belongings by force, wanting others to be destroyed, having wrong belief that good things does not bring good results, bad things do not bring bad results. So in this way, having no knowledge, people end up doing actions, bad actions by body, speech and mind in order to get good things. And some people, only a few, they do good deeds, wholesome deeds in order to get good results. So in this way, based on kilesa defilements, people do good and bad actions, good and bad deeds. So just like in the example, based on the sap or the moist of the tree, the seed comes to arise. So in the same way, based on the kilesa, based on the defilements, people do good and bad actions. So in the beings, when seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and so on, so where this seeing consciousness, hearing consciousness take place, in the eye, ear, nose, and so on, there is contact between the object and the mind on these eye, ear, nose, and so on. So when one comes into contact with good objects, there will be craving. And then when one also comes into contact with unpleasant objects, also there can be craving for good. So when one comes to good contact with good objects, there will be good feeling. When one comes into contact with unpleasant objects, there will be bad feeling. So good feeling, bad feeling are the result. And it is also the result of the past deed. So it is said that phassa paccaya vedana, contact is the cause. So this contact gives rise to vedana, feeling. When one comes into contact with good things, there will be good feeling. When one comes into contact with bad things, there will be bad feeling. So in this way, phassa, contact, gives rise to vedana, feeling. And also, vedana paccaya tasna, feelings give rise to tasna, craving. If one sees good things, there will be good feeling, and one will become attached with this good feeling. One will crave good feeling. So if one has good feeling, one will want more and more good feeling. In this way, tasna, craving, will arise. And even when one is coming into contact with bad objects, unpleasurable objects, there can be craving. So when the person is experiencing bad feeling, then this person craves for the good feeling. So in this way, craving can also arise to those who are having bad feeling, who are having this bad feeling, because he, she will crave for good ones when he, she is experiencing bad feeling. So in this way, craving arises also to the person who is experiencing bad feeling. And also, the person who is experiencing neutral feeling, the person who is coming into contact with neutral object, neither good nor bad, but it is neutral. So when he, she is experiencing this neutral feeling, he, she can also become attached in the feeling, because this neutral feeling is calm, so it is kind of good because it is calm. So people who are experiencing this neutral feeling also can become attached and will crave for this neutral feeling. So during the practice, when the yogi gets to the stage of Sankharupeka Jnana, insight into equanimity with all the formations. So when the yogi gets to the stage of Sankharupeka Jnana, yogi has a very neutral feeling, very calm. So at this stage, there are no unpleasant feelings, unpleasant sensations, or not very good sensations, but the sensations are neutral, they are neutral feeling, calm. So the yogi can become attached in his or her practice because at this stage it is very neutral, the feeling is very neutral. So in this way, the person who is experiencing neutral feeling also can have craving. So these three kinds of Vedana, three kinds of feeling, good feeling, bad feeling, neutral feeling, can give rise to Tasna, craving. So why does this Tasna, craving arise? Because one does not know the truth. That's why craving arises. In the seeing, hearing, and so on, there is seeing contact, hearing contact, seeing feeling, hearing feeling. They are all dukkha satya, truth of suffering. If one wants to know this dukkha satya, truth of suffering, one needs to be mindful, one needs to practice Satipatthana meditation. Being mindful on seeing, hearing, so on, one will come to know this dukkha satya, truth of suffering. If one is not mindful, then one will not know suffering as suffering. Not knowing suffering as suffering is called apatipatti avijja. And thinking of suffering as sukha, it is called micca patipatti avijja. Having avijja, there will be craving for good things to arise. So there can be ordinary kind of tasna, and if this tasna increases in degree, then there will be clinging, and one will think that it is the person, it is I who is feeling good things and so on. In this way, there will be personality belief. If one does not know correctly, if one is knowing wrongly, there can be craving. So this tasna, craving, when it gains momentum, when it becomes stronger and stronger in degree, it can change to clinging. So in this way, there will be wrong views such as it is I who is seeing, it is I who is feeling, it is I who is hearing. In this way, jiva atta, wrong view of individual soul, will arise. So in this way, there will be avijja, ignorance, tasna, craving, and upadana, clinging. So these three, avijja, tasna, upadana, ignorance, craving, and clinging, are just like sap of a tree. In this way, avijja, tasna, upadana, this round of kilesa, round of defilements, rotate. And when there is round of defilements, kilesa vata, in the people who have good intention, they perform good deeds, good action based on this kilesa vata. And the person who has bad intention, they perform bad deeds, bad action based on kilesa vata. So doing good actions, one will be reborn in good existence. doing bad action. As a result, one will be reborn in bad existence. So in this way, the sap, the defilements, avijja, tanha, upadana, is just like the sap. So the tree which has the sap can give fruit. So in the same way, when there is this round of kilesa vata, it will lead to kamma vata, round of action. So when the fruit becomes ripe, then it will drop. And then when it drops, there is the seed. And this seed also has the potential or potency to give rise to next generation of a tree. So in the same way, good action, bad action will come to a dissolution, but this good and bad action also leaves the potency or potential to give resultant. So even though this good and bad action come to an end, but it leaves this potential or potency to give result in the next life. And in this way, this good action, bad action give result to the next existence. There will be patisandhi, there will be rebirth. So in the rebirth, patisandhi also, there is avijja and tanha. So avijja, tanha, ignorance and craving are also consisted in this rebirth, patisandhi. And in this way, avijja, tanha give rise to karma again. So in the next life also, there is avijja, tanha, and this patisandhi, rebirth, is also rooted in avijja, tanha. So in this example, a tree is compared to a being. The sap or white of the tree is compared to kilesa, defilements, that arise in the being. So this sap is compared to kilesa vata. The sap is compared to the round of defilements. Based on the sap, the tree, the fruit has a seed. So the seed of the tree is compared to good and bad deeds done by the person. And the new generation of trees is compared to the results that arise due to good and bad deeds. So tomorrow, Sayadaw will explain how these rounds, the 3 rounds, are continuing and how these 3 rounds can be stopped. Just as the sap in the tree is supported by soil, water, and the air, Sayadaw will explain what is supporting the defilement sap. And Sayadaw will explain how the 3 rounds are connected and how they can be cut. And tomorrow, Sayadaw will explain the way or the method how these 3 kinds of rounds can be cut.